last topic in your syllabus is stability of a four-wheel drive moving in a curved path. Okay, so this topic deals with let us say generally car, any four-wheeler uh, with all the four wheels rotating, and when you are taking a turn to the left or right, obviously you are going to get the gyroscopic couple, and the effect of those couple on the vehicle body, how it will affect the vehicle's center of gravity, everything we are going to see today, and we will do some problems on this topic, right? Consider a consider four wheels of a, let us say of a car, okay, ABCD of an automobile taking a turn towards the left as shown in figure. So have a look at that figure. So this is the top view of a car. So the A and B are your front wheels, C and D are your back wheels. So what are all the other things written in the figure? Let us have a look carefully. The G is your center of gravity. So by putting G there, we can make an assumption that the engine is towards the front of the vehicle. Okay, because engine is the heaviest part in the automobile. When your engine is in the front, your center of gravity obviously lies somewhere near to the heaviest part of your car. Okay, A, B, C, D are the wheels. X, you can see here, X is the width of the car between the wheel center lines. Okay, width of the car. G is the location of center of gravity. Okay, now with this, let us have some length. Let us call this as some length. Okay, in problems the value will be given. That is the length between this normally is called as a wheelbase. Distance between the two axis of the two wheels is called wheelbase. Okay, now all the four wheels are rotating, and then I am going to take a turn towards the left. Now what will happen? Your spinning motion is already there in this axis. With this wheel spinning, I am going to take a rotation about the z-axis, axis perpendicular to your phone screen or monitor. Okay. So now what will happen? You will, as a result, you will get a rolling motion. Now spinning is there. You are giving yaw motion to the car. Car is rotating about the vertical axis. Looking from the sky, you are taking a turn. Okay, so looking from the sky is that axis. You are taking a turn about the axis towards the sky. Now what will happen? That will create a rolling motion. Car will try to roll to the side as a result of this. If you take this turn very fast, your car will roll over. You will meet with an accident. Your car will roll to the side. Okay, so that is a gyroscopic effect. Now we will see this in full detail, right? The wheels A and C are the inner wheels. When I am taking a turn towards the left, okay, so when you are turning like this, you are taking these two wheels are on the inside of the curve, they will travel the lesser distance. These two wheels are at the outside, they will travel a greater distance. So it's a single car. If you see the length of arc, the inner wheels are traveling a smaller distance, the outer wheels are traveling a larger distance. Okay, now we don't worry about the distances here. We will study about it in automobile engineering, right? Just to tell you that, just to give you a small idea. Let us say this is tracing a circle and this is tracing a circle. Definitely the outer circle will be larger than the inner circle here. So please understand inner wheel and outer wheel. Okay, A and C are inner wheel, B and D are outer wheel. The center of gravity of the vehicle is vertically above the road surface at some height, let us say 0.5 meter or 0.6 meter from the road. The center of gravity is above. Now that is why your race cars are made very very close to the road surface. As you lower the center of gravity, the faster you can take a turn. Okay, as much close to the road surface, if you lower the center of gravity, you can take a turn very fast and the car will be very stable at even at high speeds. But you cannot use that car everywhere. You have to put it in a racetrack if you make it very small, because practically in a road you will have a lot of potholes, bumps and speed breakers, where if you lower the car very much, your car will hit the floor of your car will hit the speed breaker. So practically it is not possible for production passenger cars. Okay, but race cars are very very low. The floor of the race car is very low, very close to the road surface. Okay, so that is the concept of lowering the center of gravity. Okay, so all these things. Now let us see what are all the terms used in this derivation. Let m is equal to mass of the vehicle in kilogram. The entire car mass is small m, and that weight mass into gravity is w. Wheel radius or small r w, the radius of each wheel, and we will assume that all the four wheels are having same radius, that most probably. Okay, capital R is the radius of the path I am traveling. I am going to take a turn. What is the radius of this path? That is capital R. Okay, h is equal to distance of the center of gravity from the road surface. So at what height, let us say some 0.4 meter or 0.3 meter from road surface, at what height your center of gravity is lying in meters. X is the width of the vehicle in meter. Okay, it has told the track here. This track means the width of this car is called as a track here, not the road. Okay, IW is the mass moment of inertia of one of the wheels. Each wheel has a moment of inertia of IW. Omega W is the angular velocity of each wheel. IE is the moment of inertia of the rotating parts of the engine, because you have a very large flywheel in an engine which is going around at a high speed. Now, with that, if you take a turn, that is also going to create gyroscopic disturbances. Okay, so we have to consider the engine also. So, omega E, angular velocity of the rotating parts of the engine in radians per second. G is the gear ratio. What is gear ratio? Engine speed to wheel speed ratio. Normally, engine speed is very high. You put it through a gearbox and lower the speed and give it to the wheel so that you have large amount of torque available to move the vehicle. So that ratio, gear ratio, okay. V is equal to linear velocity of the vehicle in meter per second. So this is the actual speed of the vehicle. Let us say I am traveling at 60 kilometers per hour or 70 kilometers per hour. That speed is this V. Okay. So these are the terms used in the derivation. A little consideration will show that the weight of the vehicle will be equally distributed on all the four wheels and will act downwards. Okay, this is very obvious. If a car weighs 2.5 tons and has four wheels, each wheel will carry 2.5 tons by 4. All the four wheels are equally carrying the load. So by 4 you can take. It's safe to assume, right? So this load is acting downwards, but I am going to get a reaction force from the road surface to the car. Okay, so that those two forces will balance each other, and that's why your car is standing on the floor, right? So therefore, your weight of the car distributed equally on all the four wheels will act downwards, and I am going to get a reaction force. Let us say this is my road surface. My car is standing here. Okay, so I am just drawing with a mouse. So diagram is very approximate. So don't consider that. I have a car. So the entire weight of the car is going to act downwards through the four wheels. So I can see only two wheels on this view. So other behind this there are two wheels. So this force is the weight of the car, and I am going to get some reaction force from the road surface. Now that reaction force is numerically equal to this force that is acting downwards. Okay, so keep that in mind. We are going to consider only reaction forces in this derivation. Okay, all reaction forces will be considered. Okay, a little consideration will show that weight of the vehicle will be equally distributed over the four wheels and will act downwards. The reaction between each wheel and the road surface of same magnitude will act upwards. Therefore, here weight is acting downwards and you are going to get some reaction force from the road surface that will be in opposite direction, upwards. So that reaction force, road reaction over each wheel is 4 by the load divided by 4. That is numerically equal to the load on each wheel. So mg by 4 newtons. Okay. Let us now consider the effect of gyroscopic couple and centrifugal couple on the vehicle. We are going to consider them separately. Right? There are two effects that are going to happen. We'll see it in detail. Due to gyroscopic couple, vertical reaction on the road surface will be produced. The reaction will be vertically upwards on the outer wheel and vertically downwards on the inner wheel. Now, why do we say this? How does this happen? Vertically upwards on the outer wheel, vertically downwards on the inner wheel. So to explain this, I will show you a small video, just a 1-minute video from the same lecture that we have seen earlier, but we didn't see this part of that lecture. So listen very carefully, otherwise you will miss it. Okay, I'll pause here. I want to tell you something here. Just observe here. Now I am going to consider this is the front left. This is the car layout. Okay, the car is like this. So this is your car. This is your front wheel. Okay, so this is your back wheel. So you are standing in front of the driver and you are watching the car. Let us say you are sitting on the front portion of the car. Okay, whatever. So this diagram is very approximate. This is your windshield. Your driver is here and he is driving the car. So please listen to this very carefully, otherwise you will not understand this. Okay. So your driver is sitting here and the wheel of the car is spinning like this. So the car is moving forward and now you are going to take a turn. Are you clear with this? Okay. I will do it once again. This is the front left wheel of your car. You are looking at a car from the front. The car is coming towards you. Okay, like it is coming to hit you. Okay, the front left wheel is this your front left wheel. Okay, front right wheel. Right. So this is your uh, windscreen. Your driver is sitting here on the right side. Right. And your car is like this. Okay, so I don't want to go in detail drawing the car, it is a waste of time. Just understand you are looking at the front left wheel. Car is traveling like this because your wheel is rotating like this. Okay, now we are going to take a turn like this about this axis. Already your wheel is spinning about this axis, and now you are going to give yaw motion to the car. Clear? Now what will happen by the rules of angular momentum when you are, so they tell that they are going using Fleming's right hand rule, left hand rule, whatever. When a wheel is spinning in this direction, your angular momentum will act like this. This is the direction about the axis of the wheel. Your angular momentum. This is very important to understand how a gyroscopic couple will act to predict. Okay, so please listen. When your wheel is spinning in this way, okay, your angular momentum will act like this. If you do the opposite direction, when your wheel is spinning in this way, your angular momentum will act in this direction. You have to keep that very, very closely in your mind. Now you use whatever thumb rule you want, so left hand rule, right hand rule, whatever, to put this in your mind. So let us say if I look from the front, my wheel is going anti-clockwise, then your angular momentum will point towards you, the viewer. If it is going clockwise, it will point away from the viewer, right? So keep that very closely in mind. Now similarly, what about now this car is taking a turn. Okay, now I am looking from the top. Let us say with the drawn camera, looking from the top, car is taking a turn towards the left of the driver. Okay, left of the driver. Now that is a what direction? From, if you look from the top, so that is also anti-clockwise direction. Therefore angular momentum will point towards the viewer. If you look from the top and a car is taking a left turn, it is anti-clockwise. You just imagine that. Okay, so then also your angular momentum will point towards you of that active couple that you apply. The driver is turning the steering wheel so that the car takes a turn. That is the effort the driver gives, is your active couple. Okay, so now since you look from the top and the car takes a left turn, what is the, and let us imagine it is going to take a full circle. What will be the direction of the car traveling? If you look from the top, car is taking a left turn in forward direction, it is anti-clockwise. So therefore your angular momentum will point towards you when you look from the top. These two things you remember very carefully. Now you just look at this video, then I will complete this. Only then you will understand why this gyroscopic reaction is acting like this. Okay, so here I think you clearly understand the front left wheel of the car is going around in anti-clockwise. When you view from here, anti-clockwise, therefore the angular momentum is pointing towards you. Similarly, the car is taking a left turn. So when viewed from top, it is anti-clockwise, therefore the angular momentum is pointing towards the viewer. So now what this gyroscopic couple does is, this spin angular momentum always chases or tries to catch this applied torque. This applied torque is what your driver is giving with the wheel. That angular momentum, that torque momentum, which is pointing upwards, it will try to chase this. Therefore, what will happen? Look at this below figure. What will happen? It will try to twist the wheel in this direction. The third motion, reactive gyroscopic couple, will give you a motion about this axis. So you have one rotation about this. Second rotation is given. It is taking a yaw about the horizontal plane. Third rotation, so this is about x-axis, this is about z-axis. So the third will come about the y-axis. Reactive couple will come out the y-axis. Therefore your wheel will rotate like this. Okay, look at the second figure, you will understand. It will rotate as shown in the second figure. So now if this is your front left wheel of the car, and your all the four wheels are going to experience this. Therefore what will happen to your car? If you look from the front, the car is like this. Okay, it's a very rough diagram. I don't want to do the wheels. Okay, this is my front left wheel which I am observing here. Okay, now this is going to lean to the side, this is going to lean to the side. Similarly, all the four wheels similar effect is observed because all rotational direction, all the yaw direction are same. Therefore, all the four wheels will try to lean to the left. Therefore, what will happen? This car will try to roll over in this direction. Clear? So this wheel will tend to lift up, this wheel will tend to go down because of the gyroscopic couple. Therefore, now I am considering only reaction forces. So this is my, when I am taking a curve like this, okay, this is my inner wheel, this is my outer wheel. So outer wheel is getting a gyroscopic effect of downward twist, downward compression force. Inner wheel is getting upward compression force. Clear? Outer wheel is getting downward force because of gyroscopic couple. Inner wheel is getting upward force because of gyroscopic couple. Because each wheel tends to lean to the right if you look from the driver's perspective. Okay, if you look from the opposite, from the front it will lean to the left. If you look from here, all the four wheels will lean to the left. Therefore, when I am tracing a curve, outer wheels will be pressed down, inner wheel will be lifted up, trying to, not exactly fully, but some force will act like that. Okay, now the reactions will be opposite. Outer wheels will get an upward pointing reaction, inner wheels will get a downward pointing reaction. Clear? That's what is written here. Reactions will be vertically upwards on the outer wheel, vertically downwards on the inner wheel, because gyroscopic couple is pressing the outer wheels down, lifting the inner wheels, rolling motion. If this exceeds too much of this, will roll your car over. It will your car will roll, as in cinemas you can see. Car rolls to the left if you go too fast. Right? I believe all of you understand this. This is very important to understand. Always your spin angular momentum will try to catch the applied active couple angular momentum. It will try to run in this direction. Now that is your third direction motion, reactive couple. Right? This is what you apply. This is what you get. Spin angular momentum will try to catch the applied angular momentum. The rule for doing angular momentum, when you look from the front and your wheel goes in anti-clockwise, your angular momentum will point towards you along the axis of spin. If it goes in clockwise, it will point away from you. This rule you apply for spinning as well as the effort you apply. So the spin will try to catch the torque applied. Now that is the direction of reactive gyroscopic couple. That's how you have to predict the gyroscopic motion here. Now because of this, your car tends to tilt to the left. Reaction will do the opposite. So outer wheels are pressed down because of gyroscopic couple. Reaction will be in upward direction for the outer wheel. Similarly, your inner wheels will be lifted because of the gyroscopic couple. Reaction will be downward. The reaction will come from here. Okay, whichever is touching the floor. Right? Now this is very important to understand. Now because of that, reactions will be vertically upward on the outer wheel, vertically downward on the inner wheel. Okay, let the magnitude of this reaction at the two outer or inner wheel be P Newton. Both the wheels put together. Okay, one pair of outer wheel. These two are outer wheel. These two are inner wheel. Okay, it is taking a turn. All the forces are mathematically equal. Okay, now these two wheels put together are experiencing an upward pointing reaction force. These two forces put together I am going to call the sum of these two forces I am going to call as P. Therefore, each force is P by 2. Right? And it is numerically equal to the downward pointing force on the inner wheel. Reaction forces. Right? Okay. So now I am going to calculate the couple. Width of the car is x. Now the reaction force into x is equal to the gyroscopic couple. Okay. Which is trying to roll the car. Force into perpendicular distance. Okay. Perpendicular distance here is distance between the wheels. If you take moment about the right wheel up to the left wheel, that distance is x equal to the gyroscopic couple. Therefore, this force on two wheels put together equal to gyroscopic couple divided by x. Okay. So for one wheel you will get C by 2x. So vertical reaction at each outer or inner wheel equal to P by 2 equal to C by 2x. Remember very carefully, it is mathematically equal for all the four wheels, but for outer wheels it is pointing upwards, inner wheel it is pointing downwards. Reaction. Okay. Now let us go to the next component of this. Since the vehicle takes a turn towards left due to precession, other rotating parts, therefore gyroscopic couple will act. We know the velocity of precession is V by capital R. Capital R is the radius of your path. Okay, the car is traveling in this path. So the radius of that path is capital R. Now at what angular velocity per second, how much angle you are traveling? So that is your omega precision. Okay, always in all the problems, aircraft, ship, everything. Right, time is running out. I will move a little bit faster. So omega precision is the speed at which you are traveling in meter per second divided by the radius. Always omega is V by R. V equal to R into omega, right? Linear velocity. That V is your car speed in kilometers per hour. Gyroscopic couple due to the four wheels, 4 into I omega omega p. I of wheel, omega p of wheel. Right? So how to find that omega p is shown above. Velocity of the car in kilometer per hour, you convert to meter per second, divide that by the radius of the road, the turn you are taking. So that gives you omega p. So I omega w is the spin speed of your wheel. The wheel is going around at 1500 rpm, that you convert to omega. Okay. So gyroscopic couple due to the rotating parts of the engine. That is also I omega omega p only, but here you are going to take the moment of inertia of the engine, angular velocity of the engine flywheel, and then omega precision. Omega precision is same. Okay, because that is applied commonly to wheels as well as the engine. Okay. Net gyroscopic couple. So C couple due to the wheel rotation and couple due to the engine rotation, plus or minus. Now how to decide when to put plus or minus, when to put minus? When your wheel and when your engine flywheel is rotating in the same direction as your wheel, you have to put plus. When you are going in the reverse direction, when the engine rotation direction is opposite to that of your wheel direction, it will going to give you minus. So don't worry how it will be opposite. In some cases we will have some gearing, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, right? Each gear the direction will vary. Respect the engine. So don't worry about that now. If you put reverse gear, then the direction will vary. When in case of electric cars, it will be different. The motor may be going in anti-clockwise, the car may be going in clockwise. So there are a lot of complications in that. It will be mentioned in the question of a problem. If in question it says engine rotation is opposite to that of the wheel rotation, don't go into logic how it will happen. It may happen in any way. It's not just in automobile. Many cases, if you look in a tower crane, the motor rotation will be in a small pinion and there will be gear to a very large gear to lift a very heavy weight. In that case, it will be in opposite direction. You consider a lift. Some 20 people are standing inside. Some 5 HP motor is on the top of the lift. There you have a worm and worm wheel, so that the torque is getting multiplied by 100 times. There also the motor rotation and the output traction of the motor, traction movement of the lift will be opposite direction only. So for that cases, you have to take this minus sign. So if specifically something is mentioned in the question, engine rotation is opposite to that of wheel rotation, then you have to take the minus sign. Okay. So the formula is simplified. Omega wheel into omega p multiplied by 4 times of moment of inertia of the wheel, plus or minus. So look here, what is this? G into I. This is a gear ratio. Okay, how this came in? So omega of engine is gear ratio times omega of wheel. So because from the engine the speed is given to gearbox and then it goes to the wheels. So how much times the speed is reduced by the gearbox? So that many times you multiply that, you will get the engine speed. Okay, gear ratio. Capital G is gear ratio. So the positive sign is used. That's what I told. When the engine rotation direction is same as the wheel, use positive. Otherwise, use negative. So now some note. Negative sign. If you put the negative sign, what will happen? If the engine couple is greater than the wheel couple, then this gyroscopic effect that we have discussed earlier will come in opposite direction. Therefore, your earlier the car was tending to roll to the left and fall down. Now it will try to roll to the right and fall down because the gyroscopic effect is reversed. You will get a negative answer. This will become negative if engine couple is greater than wheel couple, and suppose it goes around in opposite direction. Only in opposite. See this minus sign. It means it is going in opposite direction. In that case, if your engine couple is greater than the wheel couple, so normally your car will tend to roll to the left. Here in this special case, it will tend to roll to the right, oppositely. Okay, only in that special case. So now what about the centrifugal couple? Now you are taking a turn. You are going around a path. Naturally, centrifugal force will come into picture. It will tend to take you out. So centrifugal force m omega square r. Okay, m omega square r. Omega square is written here as v square by r square. So this omega square can be written as v square by r square multiplied by r. So I'll cancel one r, it becomes mv square by r. The couple tending to overturn the vehicle is the centrifugal force multiplied by height of the center of gravity from the floor. That centrifugal force pointing outwards will try to pull your car. Look at this. So when you are taking a turn very fast, your car will tend to roll to the outside. What will happen if you do this very fast? Your car will roll to this side, opposite to the previous case. Okay, so it will tend to roll to the outside. Outer wheels will be pressed down, inner wheels will be lifted up. The same effect as the gyroscopic couple. Okay, so that is numerically equal to Fc, centrifugal force, into height of the center of gravity from the floor. So mv square by r into h. So overturning couple is balanced by same reaction forces. So outer wheels pressing down because of centrifugal force, therefore you will get upward reaction. Similarly, inner wheels trying to lift up, you will get downward reaction. Same, exactly similar to your gyroscopic reactions. Okay. So that is numerically equal to, again take couple q into x is equal to c naught. X is your width of the car between the wheel planes. So this is called as q. The centrifugal couple, I am shortly calling it this c naught equal to q into x. So q equal to c naught by x. Okay. So this is for two wheels. Again, you put 2 here, you will get for each wheel. So vertical reaction at each wheel. So this is centrifugal couple. Okay. Total vertical reaction of each outer wheel. So this is your this is due to the weight of the car. This is due to the weight of the car. This is due to gyroscopic couple. This is due to the centrifugal couple. Okay. So since outer wheels are pressed down, your gyroscopic reaction is pointing upwards. Always all the 4 wheels weight is pressing down, so reaction is upwards. Centrifugal gyroscopic couple wheels, outer wheels are pressed down, therefore reaction is upwards. In centrifugal couple also, the outer wheels are pressed down, therefore reaction is upwards. All the 3 are pointing up, so full plus. Similarly, for inner wheels, for inner wheels, weight is always downwards wherever you are, so it is pointing upwards. So inner wheels are gyroscopic effect, it is lifted up, so reaction is downwards. Similarly, centrifugal couple, inner wheels are lifted up, therefore reaction is downwards. Clear? So you get a minus sign. Subtract all the 2 from the weight of the car on each wheel. So a little consideration will show that when the vehicle is running at high speeds, for the inner wheels, what they are trying to say here is, if you add these 2 and if this value exceeds this value, what it means, your car will roll to the right. It will undergo an accident. Okay, that is the meaning of this paragraph. So this is taken from your Kummi textbook, section 14.9.